Hi, I'm Yvette from Old Times, and today we're going to paint this butterfly palette sign. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use some Country Chic all-in-one paint, and we're going to base coat our board with a good coat of Bee's Knees. Just used a flat brush and painted a solid coat all over the board. Once that was completely dry, I used my butterfly stencil and some Liquitex light modeling paste. I placed my stencil up in the top left corner. I wanted to put 2 butterflies on my board, so I placed it up on the left and took my palette knife, and I got a generous amount of modeling paste on my palette knife, and I just covered the whole stencil. I kind of made it quite thick. I wanted it to be raised quite a bit on the board. And then I took my stencil off just by lifting it from one corner, and my butterfly turned out pretty good, I think. So I put the stencil on the bottom right and just off the edge of the bottom of the palette board, and I did another one. So now we have both all dry. You have to leave it about, I would say 6 to 7 hours. I just left mine overnight. And then I took another coat of Bee's Knees Country Chic all-in-one paint, and I painted a good solid coat over top of those again. So now that's dry, and the next step is we're going to be using 2 different colors of Country Chic paint, and it's Peachy Keen and Tropical Cocktail. Nice pink and a tropical blue. And I just sporadically started painting those in just kind of swatches over the whole thing. I started with the Tropical Cocktail, and then I started to add in some of the Peachy Keen. And I didn't do this in any particular order, I just did it randomly across my board. So here's speeding up version, and I just kind of blended those colors together. I then took a baby wipe and I wiped back all of that paint with a wet baby wipe, and I wanted some of that base color to show through there, so I did wipe quite a bit back with the baby wipes. It gets a little messy, but it turned out pretty in the end. So if I felt that there was a little bit too much color there and there wasn't enough background color showing through, so I just added a little bit more of the Bee's Knees and then wiped it back again with my baby wipe. The next thing I used was some Deco Art Dazzling Metallics in Old World Patina. And I took a stencil brush and I just wanted to dry brush this. So I dipped it into the Dazzling Metallics and then I just started rubbing it onto my raised butterfly. I wasn't too worried about going over the edges. It didn't really matter to me. I just wanted the butterfly to show up a little bit more with the Dazzling Metallics. So I added 2 or 3 coats to this. I just layered it up until I got the darkness that I wanted. I think I added about three layers. The next thing I used was a little bit of Decor Glamour Dust because who doesn't like sparkle? So I just tapped it over top of the butterflies. Just wanted to add a little bit of bling there. And then I took my brush and I just spread it around and evened it out. And then I cut a stencil with my silhouette with a saying that I liked. And I needed to have them in separate pieces, so I cut each phrase for each board apart. And then I was ready to stick my stencils onto my board. So I did each section separately, and I peeled the backing off of my stencil and applied it to my board. So we'll get all those pieces on there. And then I used an old credit card to burnish those on there so that my paint wouldn't leak. And now we're ready to stencil. So I pulled the top layer off the sticky parts so it would reveal the stencil underneath. And I'm going to be using just some Deco Art black paint. I have my makeup sponge and ready to start applying the paint to my stencils. I did 2 coats. One light coat first, and then I went back up to the top and added a second coat. So now we're ready to pull our stencil off and reveal the letters underneath. And get all those little pieces out of there. And there we have it. I think it turned out pretty cute. So if you're interested in trying one of these signs yourself, the links will be in the comments at the top of this post. You can get the stencils from me, and also I will give you a referral link for the Liquitex modeling paste. I hope you enjoyed.